found a tube, and the minute I opened it, the smell transported me through time.
This one's wife. As ever, for sale. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Another day passes, and this one's wife again goes to Instagram and pumps out some more posts and videos showing people who have purportedly purchased her products. It must be 8 or 9 days of this now, as she completely focuses on telling everybody that she is popular and that her brand is brilliant. Evidently, she must be desperate. You might think, is she desperate for sales? But we've not been given any information about how much of those wretched flour sprinkles or those bottles of wine have actually been sold. She just talks about selling out. And as you know, if you have 5 of something and you sell out of all of those 5 products, that isn't going to make you an absolute fortune when it's 5 tubs of flour sprinkles. As I've explained previously, what is clear with regard to this Potemkin business is that this one's wife, driven by her sense of entitlement and delusion and her need for the residual benefit of money, has created this lifestyle brand not because she wants to run it as a going concern and make huge amounts of money by actually putting in some hard work and growing it organically. Oh no, she wants somebody to come along and make her an offer. And this repeated returning to Instagram to post supposedly satisfied customers is all part of her cack-handed way of basically saying, come and buy it. Look at all these people. Every day I'm flooded with individuals who are munching on anemic crepes. Look at how people are choking on flour sprinkles. And look at how many people have received the wine, but not a single person is actually showing themselves drinking it. But don't worry about all of that. This demonstrates that my brand is hugely popular and must easily be worth $1 billion. So come on, guys and gals, make me an offer. Well, with this intention in mind, I decided that I would speak to one of my friends and, since he operates in private equity, ask him to appraise as ever and consider what it is actually worth. He owed me a few favours for reasons that I needn't go into here, but let's just say it revolves around too much alcohol and the use of a camera and certain unsavoury ladies. But he was more than willing to show off his expertise, and for that one is pleased. He was able to look at the material that this one's wife has put forward, and his immediate response was, there's not a huge amount to go on here, is there, because it's a fledgling business. I said, indeed, but that's not stopping her from believing that she can sell it. So, knowing what you know about her and what you've read about her and what you know about this brand, and he had a good look round and took at least a week to mooch about gaining information. I don't think he spent an entire week on the subject alone. He had other things to do. But it was a week before he came back to me with his observations, and they are as follows. As Ever is a lifestyle brand launched by this one's wife, focusing on home, hospitality and wellness products. It rebranded from American Riviera Orchard in early 2025, following trademark issues and market challenges. The brand aims to capitalise on this one's wife's personal brand and lifestyle influence, targeting a premium market segment. He first considered its strengths: brand recognition and celebrity endorsement. This one's wife brings significant media attention and a global audience owing to her royal background and public persona. This can attract initial interest and media coverage, potentially driving sales. The brand seeks to leverage her image as a modern, aspirational figure, appealing to demographics interested in luxury, sustainability and wellness. Market niche. The lifestyle and wellness market is growing, with consumers increasingly seeking premium, ethically sourced products. As Ever positions itself in this space, competing with brands like Goop, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Martha Stewart's offerings. Initial products, jams, honeys, teas, cater to a niche but expandable market with potential for diversification into clothing, home decor, and digital content. Media and marketing opportunities. The brand benefits from This One's Wife's existing media deals, including Netflix and Spotify, which could promote by way of cross-promotion as ever, enhancing visibility and reach. Social media presence, despite challenges, can be a powerful tool for direct-to-consumer marketing. Potential for scalability. With a strong foundation, the brand could expand into international markets, leveraging This One's Wife's global appeal and the growing demand for luxury lifestyle products. Those were the strengths that he acknowledged. What about the weaknesses? Brand reputation and public perception. This One's Wife's public image is polarized, with significant criticism regarding hypocrisy, for instance, environmental concerns as against private jet use, and perceived entitlement. This could alienate potential customers and damage long-term brand loyalty. The rebranding from American Riviera Orchard to As Ever may confuse consumers and dilute brand identity, especially after initial negative press and trademark disputes. Limited product range and market penetration. As of July 2025, As Ever has launched only a few products, jams, honeys, teas, with no clear roadmap for broader commercialization. This limits revenue streams and market presence. The initial rollout was small scale, lacking a robust distribution strategy or retail presence. Financial uncertainty. There is no public financial data on As Ever's performance, but reports suggest slow progress and challenges in securing widespread consumer interest. The business may be operating at a loss or minimal profit, given the high costs of branding and marketing. The reliance on This One's Wife's personal brand for sales could be unsustainable if public interest wanes. Legal and trademark issues. The rebranding from American Riviera Orchard to As Ever was prompted by trademark opposition from existing businesses, indicating potential legal risks and costs. This could hinder future expansion and protectability of the brand name. Past criticisms and legal battles may pose reputational and financial risks. Dependence on This One's Wife's involvement. The brand's success is heavily tied to This One's Wife's personal involvement and public image. If she reduces her role or if her popularity declines further, the brand could suffer significantly. There is also a risk of overexposure, where constant media scrutiny could fatigue consumers or turn them away. Consumer skepticism and brand authenticity. A significant downside is the perception of inauthenticity. As Ever capitalizes on This One's Wife's royal status rather than genuine expertise in lifestyle or wellness. This leads to a lack of trust among consumers, particularly those who value authenticity in brand founders. The brand's messaging around sustainability and community support is undermined by her past actions, creating a credibility gap. Market saturation and competition. The lifestyle market is highly competitive, with established players like Goop, Martha Stewart and Joanna Gaines. As Ever must differentiate itself, but its current offerings are not unique enough to stand out without a strong narrative or quality advantage. The risk of market saturation is high, especially if the brand fails to innovate or expand quickly. Slow launch and lack of momentum. The launch of As Ever has been sluggish, with delays and limited product availability. This slow rollout has missed the window of initial public interest following This One's Wife's rebranding announcements. The lack of a clear launch strategy, no widespread retail presence, limited online sales, hinders growth and consumer access. High operational costs. Maintaining a luxury brand requires significant investment in marketing, production and distribution. Given her high-profile status, operational costs, legal fees, PR management are likely substantial, which would outweigh early revenues. The brand's reliance on marketing without proven return on investment is a financial risk. Potential for negative publicity. The brand is vulnerable to negative publicity, which could arise from This One's Wife's personal controversies or perceived failures of the business. For example, if products underperform or face quality issues, as there has been a suggestion that they have, with regard to, for instance, the claim that her products are not particularly good, this would result in increased backlash. The risk of boycotts or cancel culture is higher for celebrity-backed brands, especially for This One's Wife, given her polarized fan base. Lack of long-term vision. There is no clear long-term strategy for As Ever beyond initial product launches. The absence of a detailed business plan, including financial projections and market expansion strategies, makes it difficult to assess sustainability. The brand's focus on This One's Wife's personal narrative, rather than a standalone identity, limits its appeal. I then asked my friend of the private equity firm, would you purchase this business? He laughed and said, not a fucking chance. I asked him to expand. He said, I wouldn't purchase as ever and probably never would. The reasons are multifaceted. High risk, low reward. The brand's weaknesses, particularly its dependence on this one's wife's personal brand, legal uncertainties and slow market penetration, outweigh the potential benefits. The risk of negative publicity and consumer backlash is too high. Unproven financial viability. Without clear financial data or a track record of profitability, the investment is highly speculative. The high operational costs and limited revenue streams suggest the business is not sustainable without significant additional investment, which I'd be unwilling to make. Market challenges. The competitive landscape and consumer skepticism pose significant barriers to growth. The brand's current position does not justify the premium valuation that a celebrity-backed venture might command. Rebranding issues. The transition from American Riviera Orchard to As Ever indicates underlying problems, trademark disputes, market confusion, which hinder the brand's development. Accordingly, my friend gave a resounding no to the question of purchasing of this brand, and it's likely that others would think in a similar way to the way that he does. But I asked him, look, if push came to shove, and I understand that you don't want to purchase it, but if you were really minded to do so, what value would you place on it? He explained that if he was really pushed to purchase it, he would put its value at $5 million. Long, long way from making this one's wife a billionaire. And you don't need me to go through it all, but you'll understand that many of the weaknesses that I've explained in this analysis from my friend demonstrate that it comes from her narcissism that has caused these difficulties, these hindrances, and these problems. But the clear view from my friend who's operated in the private equity environment for a long time, and he's highly skilled and highly successful, believe me, is he wouldn't buy it. If he really had to, it's only worth $5 million, and it's riddled with problems. If he thinks that, so will many others. And this one's wife ain't becoming a billionaire. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.